Hello and welcome to this lecture where we are going to finish the implementation of the user interface. First, we are going to create a new session variable called uploader key. If it not in st session state, then we are going to access the session state and create it. Uploader key equals to str, we are going to convert to string uud dot uud4. It ensures that the file uploader components that we are going to create later resets after each upload, preventing previously uploaded files for being processing again by clicking on other buttons. It is a kind of security code to do not process the same CV again. Then we need another session variable called selected CV. If not in st session state, then we are going to access session state selected CV is equal to none. It is used to control the display of the selected items information. As the name suggests, is the CV selected by the user. Then let's save the job to CSV. We send as parameter the job and path job CSV. In this part of the code, we have the information about the job and we are saving it to a CSV file. After saving the file to the JSON format, we need to call load job function and we send as parameter path job CSV. Now let's create two columns to separate the user interface so we can access columns components from Streamlit with column 1 st header with the following text: resume screening and analysis, and then a new component markdown and show the job position. Now let's access the second column and create a new component uploaded file st file uploader. As the name of the component suggests, it is going to be used to upload the PDF files. The message will be upload a resume in the PDF. We can specify the type of the file, so it is possible to accept only PDFs. And the key is equal to st session state uploader key, the environment variable we created here. Now we can create the file, see that app3 has been created. To run it, we can paste the following, use the Streamlit run, we get the IP number, which will be used as a password in the next window. Paste the IP, submit. Here we have a partial result, the header with the job position, and on the right panel, we can browse the CVs. Now we are going to verify the variable uploaded file. If is not none, then we are going to process it as soon as it is loaded. We are going to create a new component st spinner that will show a progress message. Create the path, uploaded file.name, and then we are going to open it. Path WB to read it, SF. And then we are going to write this file, uploaded file.read. After the file is read, we have the same code we implemented before. We first create the output and res calling processCV function and send all the parameters we defined before. See here that at the end we are sending the path. We create the structure data variable and then save it to a JSON file. Now we can visualize some messages. ST success, resume successfully analyzed, and then we access the session state. Uploader key is equal to the same code we implemented before in order to not process the same CV more than once. Then we can write a message calling the function show CV result structure data. Then we create an expander to view the data in the JSON format. There is a component from Streamlit which will help us to visualize the JSON format. Let's recreate the file and test it again. Click on Browse Files, select the CV. We can see here the spinner, with the progress message. Resume successfully analyzed. We have the details about the CV and also the expander where you can visualize the structure data in the JSON format. It is very useful for integration with other systems of the company. In the case you have a message that the CV is already registered, you can run this code in order to reset the JSON file. Now let's move on to the other part of the implementation. If OS path exists, if the JSON file exists in the directory, then we are going to create a subheader with the list of CVs analyzed. Then we create a data frame and call the function display JSON table, and we send the JSON file as parameter. Let's implement a for loop. For I row in df iter rows, we are going through each one of the rows of the data frame. Create the columns, a Streamlit component, and let's specify 1, 3, 1, and 5. It is the proportional adjustment between the columns. Now we can access each one of them with calls in position 0. If st button, we are going to create a button in the first column to view the details. The key is equal to f btn I, according to the for loop. We are verifying if the button is clicked. In this case, we are going to access the session state and the selected CV variable. It receives row to dict. Just a reminder that this variable stores the CV selected by the user. In the other columns, we are just going to show the information. So I'm going to paste the following code to not be so repetitive. In the second column, we are going to print the name. In the third column, the score. And finally, in the fourth column, the summary. Now we can recreate the file and perform a new test. See that we already have the list of resumes analyzed, and now we can select another one. For example, resume 2. The file is being analyzed. We have in the table the 2 analyzed CVs. When we click on View Details, nothing happens because now we need to implement this function. When we click the button, the session state is updated. And now we are going to verify it. If st session state selected CV, if there is a value in this variable, then we are going to show the details. First, let's print some spaces using Markdown. st.write, and let's call the function show CV result we created before. And as parameter, we send session state the CV that was selected when the button was clicked. We can create another expander, st.expander, with the text view structured data in the JSON format. And then we create st.json, st.session state, and we get the selected CV. It is a similar code we created here after loading the CV. Let's test it again. And now when we click on the details, for example, for N, all the analysis of the CV can be visualized here. Let's try to click on Alex Costa. See that now we have the analysis of his CV. Finally, let's move on to the last step. We are going to implement a download button if the user wants to download the JSON file. If OS path exists, if the JSON file is in the directory, then we are going to open it, JSON file, read it, and the encoding, the default one, UTF-8, SF, JSON data equals f.read. We are reading the file on the directory. Then we create the download button from Streamlit. The first parameter is the label, download JSON data is equal to JSON data, file name is equal to JSON file, and finally we have the last parameter which specifies the type of the file, in this case application JSON. And finally, we can display the table with all the information and send JSON file as parameter. And we can also create a data frame using Streamlit, and we send as parameter the pandas data frame. Finally, let's run the application and visualize the result. If you want, you can browse more CVs and then it will be analyzed. We can visualize at the bottom the last part of the implementation. It is possible to download the JSON file with all CVs. And here at the bottom, we have a Streamlit table with all the fields. so it is easier to take a quick look at the data as well as order it based on this score and any other field you desire. That's all for this lecture, where we have finished this case study. See you next time!